guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shanice and this is my channel Septembre Love. If you haven't checked out my blog, please go and do so right now, www.septembrelove.wordpress.com. We're gonna get right into this video today because I ain't trying to waste no time, okay? If you guys have never heard of this show, Insecure, where have you been? Where have you been is my question, okay? Because this is one of my favorite shows right now. I've been watching it for the past 4 seasons. Last year, they took a break. I was devastated. But I think they took a break because Issa Rae was filming The Photograph. If you guys haven't seen that, it came out in February. Really, really nice movie. So, they're finally back and in action, and I'm so happy. So season 4 has begun, and every season is just, it's just so good. It's just such a good show. I can see myself in the characters sometimes, and I think that's what makes the show so fun, is because it's very realistic. It's good, man. It's for the young adults, like for those who are in their late 20s, early 30s, trying to figure their life out. This is a show for you. Guys, girls alike, it doesn't matter. It's such a good show. So I'm gonna try and do a quick review of season 4, episode 1 to 5, of basically what's going down right now with Issa and Molly and all that's in between. So check it out. Well, as you guys know, if you may not know, Issa and Molly are best friends. Now, we've seen them grow and shift and things like that, but right now we're seeing a really big change. Now, this whole season started with Issa and Molly starting their self-care Sundays, where they'll go to Issa's house, do yoga, you know, hang out, chill, and just getting their lives together, be in their space. Issa right now, the landlord, what do you call them? Like a superintendent at a building, apartment building. And so she has her place there. So that's kind of what she uses to get by. And she left We Got Y'all to start her own thing. Now she's doing her whole block party initiative and trying to get the artists in LA into one space. That's like her passion right now. So we're seeing her do that. Obviously, her and Nathan are not a thing anymore. Nathan ghosted her in season 3. And so she's like, you know what? I'm going to move on, do my thing and all that stuff. So Nathan's friend, Andrew, is now with Molly. And they're dating and stuff like that. But initially in episode 1, Molly thinks that it's a bit more serious than Andrew does. So what happens in episode 1, we kind of just see how Issa's building her trying to build her reputation, trying to get things going with her block party, and she has a friend named Condola. Now, Condola is an event planner who she met at an event in season 3, and so they kind of connected, and now she's helping her with her event, trying to get her sponsors because it's a non-profit organization that she's trying to kick off. And so Condola's helping her, you know, another black girl helping her. This is great. Black girl power, black girl magic, we all in for that. But she doesn't realize that Condola is actually dating Lawrence. So she realizes that like 3 or 2 episodes in, that Condola and Lawrence actually are together, and they met at their mutual friend's baby shower. The same baby shower that Issa was at last season with Lawrence. I guess she didn't realize that they met there. So she's been talking to Condola. They're becoming friends. They're cool, you know? And she's like, yeah, so who's this guy? And she's like, oh my God, like, I can't tell you who he is, or whatever. And eventually finds out that it's Lawrence. Okay? And so it's kind of awkward because she's like, okay, I work with you, me and you are building a relationship, but you're also with my ex. So how do we do this situation appropriately so it's not awkward for either one of us? Because that's a little bit weird, you know? And so they decide, you know, they're going to work through it. Lawrence and Condola are still together and they're doing their thing. And then Molly now, I don't know, Molly and Issa's relationship is shifting. Like, I can't go episode by episode for you guys. I'm going to give you a general what's happening, like I said, from 1 to 5. So you guys can get caught up and catch episode 6, 7, and 8. So what's happening right now is that Molly and Issa are kind of like in different places. Now, anyone who has a friendship will know that things happen. You're in different places in your lives, and sometimes you guys feel out of sync. You know, it could be your best friend in the world, but it happens. And so they notice, and I think Molly also just wants time with Issa, you know, just wants to be with Issa, kind of talk to her about what she's going through. I think she just kind of wants her attention. And Issa is in this really good place where Issa typically isn't in the best place. Neither is Molly, but Issa is usually not as confident about what she's doing. She just seems so full of joy because she's like finally found something that she's passionate about, which is this block party. And Molly's all here for that. She's down to support, but she also feels like, I guess she's kind of like losing her friend in a sense, and also feel like she's losing her friend to Condola. So Condola and her have this good relationship. There's even an episode where Condola and Issa are eating, and Molly comes because they're supposed to meet up with Issa, and Issa's like, yeah, Condola, you can stay, girl. And Molly's like, what? Like, I would low-key be annoyed too. Like, I just want my best friend. Like, I want to be particular right now. I don't really want this other person here. Don't hate you, don't dislike you, but my preference is that you're not here, right? And she was just there. She stayed, she hung out, whatever. And I kind of noticed, like, even in Molly's face, she was kind of like, okay, like, I'm not going to be rude, but like, I kind of want to just talk to my friend and just be with my friend. And like, it's like Issa wasn't picking up on that, but it's like if she was, but didn't really care enough to address it or deal with that. So basically now, they have their dinner, whatever, and you see the exchange between Molly and Issa, and you can kind of tell things are a bit off. So they go to this episode where they go to the grocery store, and they're just talking about their plans for Thanksgiving, and they talk about the fact that, hey, things are a little bit off. Like, sometimes Issa would make comments or Molly would make little sideways comments. Like, you know, when you're making sideways comments a lot, that means something has to be said. There was a lot of that happening between the two of them. Like, there's always a little, like, remark or just a little blow and all that stuff. And it's just like, okay, like, what's really going on? So they acknowledge, hey, something is a bit off in our friendship. We need to talk about it. So they plan Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to keep our traditional routine. You come over to my house for pie or whatever, and we'll talk there. Issa agrees. Molly's like, okay, cool. Thanksgiving comes around, and to me, it seems like Issa was trying to avoid the conversation. They didn't have a fight per se, but they could tell things were a little bit off. Like, there's things that they had to say. They acknowledged, hey, we need to have a conversation. Molly went to her parents' house. Issa's supposed to meet her there. They're supposed to have a conversation and kind of like iron things out. And Issa doesn't even show up. Like, I think it was intentional. She was with her brother, but I mean, her brother could just go with her. It's not a big deal. Issa does not even show up. To me, that was like what, like, do you not care? Like, it seems like Issa's in her own world, and I'm happy for her because she seems so happy. But it's like she's in her own world so much so that she's neglecting her friendship with Molly. And maybe Molly is being a little bit needy, maybe. But it's like, yo, come on. Like, you guys have plans to go have this conversation. I feel like for me, that was the turning point. That's when things shifted because Issa did not go. Issa knew that she was supposed to meet up with her there, and she chose not to go. So, when she tells Molly she's not coming, you can tell Molly's like, yo, are you like, you're dumb, like, whatever. I feel like from then, Molly was turned off, like, completely just like, I'm done with this. And so Issa and Lawrence interact because Lawrence is like, yo, you've been talking to Condola, and, you know, kind of keep my name out of your mouth, not in a rude way, but like kind of just take it back a bit. And then I think they realize that maybe, I think for Lawrence and Condola, they realize it's maybe a bit too much because of their connection to Issa. I think it was a little bit uncomfortable for them, and so they ended up parting ways. And that is a little bit interesting. And it's like, okay, so I'm kind of skipping things, but one of their friends, there's 4 of them. One of them had a baby, and so even when they went to the house to go and, like, you know, check up on her and see how she's doing, Lawrence was there too. And he wanted to tell her then. You can tell he wanted to tell her. But I wonder why he wanted to tell her. Like, does he want to tell her, like, hey, Condola and I are not together, so, you know, hey, I've been thinking about you? Or is he, like, just letting you know, just a heads up in general, Condola and I are not together? Like, he didn't really outright say it because Condola ended up admitting it later on. But it just seemed, because, you know, what else? Why would you want to say that? Like, why do you feel it's important to tell Issa that since you guys were together in the past? While they're at their friend's house, helping out with the baby and stuff like that, even there, Molly was making like little remarks. She's like, so Issa's like, oh yeah, where did the towels go? Or she's like, oh, you weren't here last week, but they go under that shelf over there. Like, just little like stuff. And she's like, okay. But I don't think that Issa realized, like, yo, you hurt her. You're basically dashing her to the side. That's how I see it. I feel like Molly feels like she's being dashed and she's not being cared about the way she is expecting to be cared about, and Issa's not paying that any mind. And so it seemed like she's like, okay, like whatever. She's like, yeah, they go under there and whatever. And they're just making judgmental comments to each other the whole entire time. Now, I don't know why I can't remember this girl's name. Man, geez, Amanda Seales plays her. I don't know why I can't remember her name right now. But for those who remember, just put her name down below. But she's had the baby, and you can tell she's kind of having a little bit. It seems like she's going through postpartum a little bit, having a difficult time. I think finding, you know, where she fits in this like new world of motherhood. And so you see Kelly and her trying to, like, Kelly's there really supporting her, helping her out and stuff like that. But in that episode, you kind of see where things are trying to shift for her as a mom. Like, she's happy, but she's like, yo, like, I still want to be me, you know. And so that you can see that struggle in her. It's time for Issa to get ready for her block party. She's trying to get a particular artist. Now, the guy that Molly is dating has connection to that artist. So she's like, hey, Molly, see if you can hook it up for me, girl, whatever. Molly's like, okay, I see what I can do. Now, when Issa first called Molly, you can tell Molly was like, okay, now we're going to have this conversation we need to have because we're off, you know? And as soon as she answers, Issa's asking for a favor. What about the conversation we're supposed to have? Like, that's how I'm looking at it. What about the conversation that we planned on having Thanksgiving a few weeks ago? But you're going to disregard all of that. You have not brought anything up, but you're asking me for a favor? Like, let's backtrack first. I don't mind doing the favor, but let's backtrack and figure that out first. So I can tell Molly was really annoyed, and she's like, yeah, can you tell Andrew, hook me up, give me, you know, a little favor, whatever, work that pillow talk, girl, all that stuff. And you can tell Molly was just really annoyed. And she was just like, yo, I really want to work on this relationship. I value it. And yeah, you know, so she ended up telling Issa, look, I'm not going to ask him. And then Issa's like, hey, like, why? Like, what would your reason be? She's like, look, I just don't want to mix those two worlds together or whatever. I don't think that was right of Molly. I understand her stance. I don't agree with it, but I kind of know where it's coming from. She's like, yo, let me just do my thing over here. You're clearly doing your thing. If you want to get that artist there to the event, then you figure that out. I'm not going to be in the middle of that. So then what Issa ends up doing is she connects with her old guy she used to talk to, which is Nathan, who wants to talk to her again, and who's also friends with Drew. And she's like, yo, tell him to kind of help me out and get this artist here. Block party day comes. Everyone's cool. Molly is gonna go to support her, but she's also like a little annoyed with her, but she's like, I have to be there for my best friend. Like, we're going through a moment. She's like, I love her, but I don't like her right now. And that is so, like, I get that. I love my best friend, but I don't like her right now. She's annoying me. Because your best friends are like your siblings. Like, you're annoying, and that's fine. You can annoy people, and that's fine, you know? But she still went. She supported her. And even when she went there, Issa was being so dry. And I guess because she was dry, obviously, because Molly's like, yo, I'm not going to ask him for you. But it's like, okay, Issa, but what about the conversation you're supposed to have with her? So I feel like it's just like this building of so much stuff that it's just like, eek, you know? So they have the block party. Everything is cool. Issa's doing her thing. Molly's doing her thing. Hey, Kelly, I love Kelly. Her British accent and the random young guy I'm like, what is Kelly really doing? Like, what is happening? So anyways, the block party happens. Issa's there. Molly's there. They kind of exchange words a little bit, but it was very dry, very minimal. And then I think one of the main artists came in, and so Issa was like, all right, I gotta go, like, talk to you later. The DJ they're doing the wobble. So everyone's doing the wobble, whatever. Then her and Molly start dancing together. I'm like, okay. You know, music brings everyone together. This is nice. This is nice. Okay. And then she goes on stage, artist goes up, whatever. And then she realizes, after talking to Andrew, Issa went behind my back and asked Andrew for this hookup, like figured out a way to get this hookup when I specifically told her no. So she goes over to Issa. She goes up to her. She realizes, oh, shoot, like you went behind my back and got Andrew to give you the hookup. Even for Andrew, it was like simple. He's like, what's the big deal? Like, she's your best friend. It's like one email from me. Didn't put me out of my way. I don't care. But she's like, no, like, don't help her with anything, like, kind of thing. She'd let her figure it out on her own. I'm always have to help her figure things out and whatever. So she goes to Issa upset. Issa's thinking everything's kind of cool now. We did the wobble. You know, everything's fine. And Molly's not having it at all. She's in her face. She's so upset. And she starts cussing her. And then someone's like, he got a gun. He got a gun. Everyone starts running around the place. And they're separated. But they were like in each other's face. To be honest with you guys, there's a big debate happening right now whether Issa's right or Molly's right. And I think they're both wrong. I think in that particular moment, I feel like Molly is being really petty. However, I feel like Molly's been trying to reach out for Issa, and Issa was just holding back this whole time for whatever reason. And so that fight, they were literally almost like fought physically. And so that fight to me was a result of both of them being petty and both of them being ridiculous. It's not a Molly's fault or an Issa's fault. I think it's just, you guys are both being stupid. You guys are grown women, best friends. Have the conversation. Like, so this can all be avoided. It's only getting to this point because there's so much pent up anger and all that stuff in there, right? So that was a super intense episode. If you watched episode 5, season 4 of Insecure, please comment below. Who do you think is responsible for this fight that happened? Do you think Molly is in the wrong? Do you think Issa's in the wrong? Or do you think they're both in the wrong? And tell me why. Because I feel like it's both of them personally, but I feel like, they both have hands in the pot as to how things got to that point. But yeah, that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for checking in. I'm going to try to review season 4, episodes 6, 7, and 8. But it was a very quick run through of episode 1 to 5. So please catch up on it before episode 6 comes out. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. See you soon. Love you all. Bye.